Welcome to the Don Serious Show. From thought-provoking discussions on current affairs to deep dives into the worldly landscape, the Don Serious Show covers it all. Each episode is a tapestry of diverse topics designed to enlighten, entertain, and expand your mind.
Meditate. When you trying to do this mumbo jumbo gumbo ass shit, you mixing some stuff up where you get from other stuff. Tai Chi and Qigong is ancient, okay? I'm not necessarily saying it came from China. It could have came, because there's a debate. Some of that stuff came from Africa and they migrated to that's where that whole Asiatic thing came from. But we're not gonna go that route neither. But yeah, I wanted to do all of that, and I didn't see no end coming real soon for me to get into my daughter's life faster, because I know I needed the money. And so that also leads back to all them people talking about that money shit. You're like, all he cares about is money. Yeah, you know what though? All I cared about is freedom, but I ain't see none of y'all around it. And it took y'all months to even figure out that I was locked up. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you know, I don't care about none of y'all, because y'all don't care about me. All I care about is my daughter and my life, and that's fine. And the new people I got in my life in the last, because I've been driving trucks for a decade. In the last few years, you know, I vet them out, and if they're cool, they're cool. But, you know, I'm here to take care of me and then take care of her the best way I can and get money. So that's back to the trucking. So, hey, hold on, cup of coffee. Yeah, and I hope my friend gets better. You know, she has a name, but we call her Pew. And shout out to Pew. I know she's gonna like, oh my God, you put my name on the show. Yeah, but like, you know, if you pray for her, I guess. If you meditate good energy for her. Cause man, you know, Pew is a really good person's, you know, heart, spirit and stuff. But she goes through some challenges, and right now she's in the hospital with pneumonia, and I know she's gonna pull out. She's gonna pull through. Shout out to Pew. Yeah, because Pew be helping me on my show in the background, because I mean, she has a lot going on. So at least she does that to help my show. Shout out to her. And I shouldn't be doing a lot of shout outs, because everybody's like, oh, why you shot me out? But anyway, so to the coffee and back to the show. Yeah, I checked on her today, and you know, Pew, get better. This episode is out to you with my good cup of coffee. It's not French press, and you be helping me. Thank you. I want you to get better, and off to the races on this show. Yeah, but back to what I was saying. So yeah, all that capping they saying about the money thing, like, you know, so that's what made me go get my license. So when I was in retail and I tried to apply for a manager position and I couldn't get the shit because the woman there, she was on some like, oh, I asked for certain days off so I can go do more studies and practice in Tai Chi. And I was getting really good because, you know, you had to learn 13 postures, and I was studying Wu style. There's 2 different styles that I know. Everything else I don't know nothing about. But, and the master to the Wu style, his picture was on the wall, and the last emperor that existed in China, he was on the convoy to protect the emperor's wealth. So he knew how to use a sword or a saber, because everything we was learning came from him, passed on throughout the generations until it reached me. So I was learning Wu style Tai Chi, and so I had to learn the postures first. Then I had to learn another thing. The postures are important, and I had to learn the stances first, then the postures, and then you had to get to like a certain amount of postures before you can get to the saber. There was stages, and I was working really hard to get to the sabers. The sabers was my thing, because you learn a lot through studying this stuff. Because in layman terms, a sword is really just made for poking. Like, it's made to pierce organs and arteries, like lung, heart. You know, it's just a poking. It's a long poke stick. It's like, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's not. And the reason I'm explaining is because it's not like the saber. It's not. The saber is something totally different. I'm gonna lie. The saber is a beast. The saber, it starts out narrow at the bottom, and it's narrow at the bottom, and it swerves, and it gets wider and wider and wider. And so you might see Arabs or the ancient worlds or the Persians use it or whatever, or the Arabs use it, but it gets wider and wider. But that's a saber, and the saber is used for hacking. It's a block, come down, hack. So if you see them with the saber and they come like up, they're like blocking thing. And then Tai Chi is a circular. Everything stays in motion. It's always a flow. So with the saber, it's always like block, hack, block, hack. come block, hack. You know what I mean? That's why you see them ping, 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 ping. They trying to hack you with it, man. That's all they trying to do with the saber. It's a hack. They trying to take off limbs, arms, legs, whatever. It's a hack technique, and it's only in layman terms, so don't quote me on everything, or don't say I'm exaggerating or I'm making it up. If you take Tai Chi or study it, they know what I'm saying. They understand that I have some experience with it. But back to the trucking, yeah, I wanted to get in my daughter's life and get my money right because I didn't like them people putting their hands on me. So I went to the VA and I qualified for the the vocational rehab, and like I went to look for different schools, and I was being greedy at the time. I wanted to go to the longest lengthy school so I can get paid through the VA and be in school because I was a little, I'm, how can I explain it? I was a little bit skeptic about like everything I was doing because all my mind was wrapped around was getting locked up again. Like, man, I gotta always send this state they money, man. I don't ever want them people touching me. And so I was trying to go the lengthy school. And then there was another school over in this part of my city. And there was the main school I have always seen in my city. And at the time, I was not thinking that you can go through other trucking companies and they will pay for your school because I'm a veteran. So that never came across my mind, or it never been a thought on the table that I can go to other companies, trucking companies, big, large, mega companies, and they will assist me in getting my CDLs or commercial driver's license. But when I went to the VA, since I was a disabled veteran, I was able to look up a lot of different vocational rehab programs that they got going on. And when I say they, the VA doesn't really lay out different aspects or whatever. It's just that if you want to be a plumber, that's a trade. If you want to be an electrician, that's a trade. What your job to do was, what your job is to do is for you, like I did, was to go hunt out what kind of trade I want to do. And since we were talking about trucking, then the next step would have been to start looking for schools. And in my city at the time, there was only 2 schools. And if I didn't know any better and I was still looking for schools and I wasn't a veteran, somehow, I don't know if I would have found out that companies pay for it, but I wouldn't have known if I could call companies to see if they paid for it. But yeah, there are companies out there that will pay for you to get your commercial license. And when you call around, some of them send you Greyhound bus rides, plane rides. It's to come to where their school is at, whether it be all the way out in Utah or Idaho, Texas, or Georgia, or wherever the school may be sponsored at, or wherever the company may have you, because they sponsor a lot of schools too. Some of the companies, I think, or at least I know, will pay for your license, but you probably will have to sign some agreement to pay them back. And most schools, I don't know how much they cost, man. Economy is different now. Remember, I've been driving a decade, so hold up, coffee time. So it might cost more to get your commercial license, but you can apply for grants, student loans, because it's a school thing. And yeah, and if you got to keep in mind, if you decide to go with a company that will pay for your license because you're not a veteran, then that's something you got to put in your mind. So you got to be obligated to like give them people their money back. I know it's a lot of people out there who be trying to take shortcuts, and they think, well, I'm gonna just get the license and work with them. If I don't like it, they can just put it on my credit, or however their ideology or they thought press. Hey, that's your prerogative. You got your license, but it might go on your credit, might screw something up, might get some wages garnished. I don't know. I don't know that part. That part, I don't know what's going to happen. If you are able to find the school and get your financial aid for it, however route you take, whether you go through a mega company, and a mega company could be, and I don't want to name none of the mega companies, just Google mega trucking companies. Google mega trucking companies that will pay for your commercial license. Because I don't get no money from none of them people if I mention their names, so I don't want to mention none of their names. I worked for one, and if you watch the episode prior to this, you'll see which one I'm talking about that I worked for, and that's as far as I say about them. And then so once you get approved, hold on, y'all, let me take a sip. All right. I bumped the mic a little bit. Yeah. Now, once you get approved to go to a school, your financial aid is there, everything's taken care of. There we go. Game on. And my school was only 4 weeks. They had a 4 week course and a 6 week course, but I think it's 6 weeks or 8 weeks. I tried to take the loan one. That's all I know. I think they had three different ones. But the person I know that got a commercial license, he basically don't remember telling me, but I'm telling you, he told me. He was like, bro, if you really try and get to the money, man, just go to the shortest week and, get it over with. So I went to school and I got it over with. And what did I learn in 4 weeks? They crammed a lot because you had to learn the pre-trip. You had to learn about air brakes, the air system, because that's what they work off. Those semi-commercial trucks, they run off air brakes. They got air tanks that build up. They got an air compressor. So you got to learn how to inspect your equipment. You're going to learn how to do backing, blind backing, or driver's side backing, 90-degree backing. Wait, what's the other one, y'all? 45-degree backing. Yes. Parallel parking. It all depends on the school too, though, because there's some good schools out there. I actually had to say my school that I went to, and I'll give them a shout out on here. I went to a diesel driving academy in Shreveport, Louisiana. I think I got on their nerve because after I graduated, I kind of used to go up there kind of showing out with the equipment, but I stopped doing that at a certain length of time, though. I mean, I don't have genuine friends that give a fuck about what I really doing. Like, they really don't. Like, I learned that the hard way too. So I'm not here to be on some emotional shit because I think people misread my comments or my statements or my body gestures. But what I'm saying is that, when I first got my commercial license, I was trying to be around like-minded people that appreciated it like I did. And like the first week, I was in the class maybe 3 or 4 days out the first week. And after that, and that's like because you got to go to your, I'm pretty sure the school is going to send you to the DMV after you get approved to get into school and everything. And they're going to, like, first, I don't know how long it's going to be for you, but they're going to send you to the DMV and they're going to basically, the school is going to prep you for the written test. And the written test is to get your driver's permit and commercial license. And can you believe it or not that you can actually go take the permit? You can go take the test for the permit to the without going to school at all. You can just go study online, download an app for a commercial license, and you can go study. And they got good apps on there, and they are pretty accurate because they're gonna just pretty much go over everything. And it doesn't matter how many which ways they try to joggle up the questions. You can't get you can't like confuse somebody when you ask a question about the air brakes. Like the red one is this and the yellow one is that, and you see like multiple choice and you just automatically see the answer because you studied for it. You know what the yellow one is for when you pulling the brakes inside, because there's book brakes you pull. You like, it's a yellow one and a red one, and you got to push them in when you're ready to go. So I mean, it's just certain things. Like, it don't matter how many different ways they try to spit it for it. You don't have to go to school to get the permit. You can just go do that right now if you wanted to. I'm pretty sure, unless some states got some stupid rule saying you have to be enrolled in school. And I'll get to that, why you can go do that now. Because I don't know if your mind is starting to turn a little bit, trying to figure things out. But anyway, yeah, so the first week when I was there, we was in class, and then we started going outside, and then we start learning about the pre-trip. And the pre-trip is like, you have to do that 15 minutes before you can start your day off. And if you do not do that, I'm pretty sure the starter company you're going to join up with, because with no experience and commercial license, you're not going to get some of those good paying, high paying jobs right away. Unless you got like, somebody and they just taking a chance with you because you still don't have no experience just because you went to school. Like, no lie, I ain't gonna vouch for that. You ain't got no experience, and you need some experience out there on the road, because things can happen really fast and you can lose your life. Let's be realistic. And you can make other people lose their life. And so those things should scare you for a while. When you get comfortable, you shouldn't get complacent. You can possibly be comfortable, but not complacent. You shouldn't just feel totally comfortable like I know what I'm doing. No, 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 no. But anyway, and then so I covered that the school is going to teach you how to do backing, and then you're going to have to do a road test. Like as you progress through school, and you already passed the written exam to get your permit, then they allow you in the equipment, and the instructor is always going to be in there in the passenger seat, except for backing. And like if I'm not mistaken, when you're doing backing, you're on their property, you're not driving anywhere, so they're not going to get in the truck for that. They're probably going to be around you a lot trying to show you how to back the truck certain ways in all those different degrees I told you, 90, 45 or whatever, blind backing, passenger side, parallel. They all got their own techniques, and it's cool because what works for some drivers doesn't work for others. But you have to learn all of them because eventually when you get your commercial license as time progresses, you will be put in a situation where you have to do a blind backing. There is no other way. And what is a blind backing? If you wonder, well, he keeps saying blind backing. What is a blind backing? Well, in a semi truck, not a day cab, one of those local drivers, the one over the road, there's a sleeper where you go to bed at behind you and all that. If you've been watching my episode, you see me back there sometime. There is no back window. And sometimes you got the little vent windows over there, some on the behind you on this side, in the corner, and behind the other side of the corner. Even if you open them up and you let the window up, you only got a little corner of a window on the passenger side to see what's going on. And once you start moving that truck backwards to back in somewhere, and you need to back in using your passenger side because the setup doesn't allow you to do, like, what could be a good blind backing? It's hard to give you a scenario. But if you come into a place where you only can back in because the dock is on the passenger side and there is no turnaround room, and all you can do is just nose in somewhere and then try to back in with the blind back. You got to get out a lot. You got to get out the truck a lot and keep checking to see if you got it right. Some people be out there help ground guiding you when you do a blind back. But basically, you're backing your trailer up into a dock or a spot or a location on the passenger side. With the driver's side, when you're backing up, you can see the trailer swing by looking out your driver's window. But you can look out the passenger window all you want. But once the trailer starts getting out of that long, big mirror, you're not going to be able to see anything. They got a hood mirror up in the front of the truck, but it's a little small square mirror compared to that big long mirror on the passenger side. And I'm not going to knock anybody's skills. I don't know. Maybe it's probably some truck drivers out there can do a blind backing without having to get out. But they call it a blind backing because you lose sight of the trailer at some point, and you don't know where is it, and you can't see where is it on the passenger side. I mean, on the driver's side. My bad. You cannot see your trailer on the driver's side because it's bent away from you. It's bent away from you. On the driver's side, it's bent towards you. So when you look out the window, you can see like this elbow. But when it's like on the passenger side, it's bent away. So when you look, you don't see anything over there. And when you try to look over there, it's hard. You only see bits and pieces of it. You don't know what the ass end of the trailer is doing, so you have to get out. So in school, they're going to teach you that. And what else? It's been a decade since I was in school. Hold on. They definitely going to teach you some things like paying attention to every sign you come across. If you go to a good school, you'll know this is a good school if they teach you to pay attention to signs. Because like our instructors, like we would go over the road with them when we was like getting trained or whatever. And you'll be so focused on driving because it's a big ass piece of equipment and you ain't never done this before that even in the beginning, they tell you to pay attention to signs, all signs, signs, pay attention to signs, pay attention to signs. And they need to teach all them four-wheel, pay attention to signs. Y'all need to pay attention to some signs, for real. But anyway, so, yeah, the instructors would like be out, we would be driving, and they're like, what that sign say? And we were like, I don't know. And they like, failed. And then, this is all practice, though. But they was just, drilling us real hard so we'll know. And you don't even know on the road test which sign they're going to ask you about. So while you're driving and focus on staying in the lane, doing the speed limit, changing gears at them times, because now I heard they have some kind of stupid thing where they put a restriction on your license to only restricted to driving automatic semi-truck. I think that is hilarious. Like, it's some drivers out there on the road with restrictions only for automatic semis. Like, oh, so they don't even know how to drive a 10 speed or 13 speed or 18 speed or however many, 19, 18. I forgot the higher one, but I'm just saying. So you don't even know how to drive a manual. My truck is a manual. I've driven automatics before. I like them. Yeah, I do. I ain't gonna lie. They cool. But, I like the 10 speed too. I like them both. I ain't gonna complain, about either one. Yeah. So back to school, yeah, when you're doing your practice for your road test, because they put you on the highway just a little bit, take you off the highway, make you go through a little city environment, make you have to like come to stop signs. They make you do emergency stops because like when you pull off on the shoulder, you got to put your four ways on immediately, and you only can stay on the shoulder for 5 minutes without putting those warning triangles. And they teach you how to make sure how to put the warning triangles by the appropriate distance. It's actually on the written test too. I think so. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I think I'm 90% sure that it's on the written test, or it could possibly be because remember some of that shit's random. But anyway, and so yeah, they teach you that. They teach you about the signs. In school though, they make you think they make you drive as if you're driving a tanker or a passenger. So when you come up to railroad tracks, you gotta slow down and put your four ways on, come to a stop, look left, look right, and then go hold on, no. You don't. I don't know. It's been too long. But I think if I can recall in my school, you seen a railroad track coming on, you put your four ways on. But they was telling us if you was in a passenger or a tanker, you had to come to a complete stop. But one thing I know you're not supposed to do is take the truck out of gear if you're driving a manual when you go over a railroad track. You know what I'm saying? You definitely don't do that. And we're not gonna get into this technique stuff because there's a lot of things you need to know about trucking. But the school, if it's a good school, it's gonna tell you all of that stuff. And what else? When you do take the road test, after you pass it, and most of the time, since I've been in school and it's been a while now, most of the time, the different mega companies show up anyway they need new drivers because like people like me, we quit those companies after a certain length of time or we stay with them at a certain length of time. And some of them wreck out after a certain length of time. Some of them just quit because it ain't for me after a certain length of time. So they always go into all these different schools and they trying to find new drivers and they will market themselves. I'm going to use the word solicit themselves to you. And you got to like do your homework. And if you're trying to get into like driving trucks, you just got to like roll with the punches. Like you might pick a good one, you might not. Don't go with Swift. I'll mention their name. Like nah. Don't go with Swift at all. I don't know about the rest of them. I just threw them under the bus though. I don't know why, but I do and I don't because it's based off some experience. I never worked for Swift neither though. Now here's the thing: after you finish and graduate school, yeah. So like, all right. So remember when I told you could take the road test? I mean the written test to get the permit. In school, they send you to go do the written test so you can get the permit. Then they give you all these different classes and training, backing and driving and pulling over and pretending like you're in an emergency stop, paying attention to signs, railroad crossings, looking at your intersections when you cross your intersection left, right, you know what I mean? Even as you're driving, you know what I mean? Soft lights, stale lights, all kind of phrases, man. They got all kind of stuff going on. You're learning all this stuff so quick. And so at the end of school, you're going to take a road test and you're going to get your permit turned into a real commercial driver's license. But here's the catch. Some people just go pay the school to do the road test because they went and took the written test themselves and they have their own equipment, whether it be a 2-ton pickup truck with its own trailer and or their own semi and trailer. But I think that might be a little challenging for the person because like, you get some kind of experience in the school though. And who is instructing you and teaching you how to do all this stuff? I mean, it could be somebody like me. Like you can come get me. Like say you come hire me. Like, hey man, I need you to teach me everything you know about the school. The school want $5,000 and I give you $2,000 if you teach me in 4 weeks. And I'd be like, nah, bro, that's like $1,000 a week. And then he's like, well, I'll give you 3,000, 3,500. And I'm like, $3,500 in 2 weeks? Nah. Well, I'll give you 38 no hire. And I'm like, okay. I mean, this other one's going to charge you 555. 38, that ain't bad. So I teach you everything I know, and you go get the written test done. You got a permit. That means as long as I'm in the vehicle with you, you can drive it because I have commercial license.
The Don Serious Show